Hey guys, today we're going to be replacing the tailgate latch strikers, as well as the cables and hinges on the 01 Sierra. As you can see, the cables are a little beat up. They keep getting pinched between the taillights. I'll show you our problem here. Striker's all worn out, broken. Doesn't want to latch properly, and as you can see, my hinges are pretty much non-existent. Okay, so gonna do the strikers first. They're the easiest. As usual, I got most of my parts from Rock Auto. They got pretty good pricing. I think I got all of this for, oh, let's find out. I'll say it was a 40-some bucks. Of course, it doesn't say. It was roughly 40 bucks for all of it. Not too bad. So your strikers are held on their Torx. They just thread in. It's a T40 Torx. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. I got one of these multi-tools here. It would probably work better if you had a ratchet and a socket, because they're probably rusted in there, but I forgot to bring them home from work, so this is gonna have to make do. As you can see, there's a dilemma here. It's not coming out, and if you look closely in there, you can see there's a nut spinning. So we're gonna have to remove the tail lights, which I just freaking put in. 2 Phillips screws holding the tail light in, and a little oomph to pull it out. So we'll do that now. Alright, I'm just gonna try to set this off to the side or something so it doesn't fall down. I guess it can kind of hang by the wires as long as it's not too heavy. Alright, if I had to guess, this is probably a 15 mil or a 5/8 roughly. I'm just going to use a crescent wrench to hold it. Alright, we got the old one out. Here's the new one, Dorman brand. There's the part number. You're going to go ahead and put that in. You want to try to line up the new one so that it's in the same area of the markings as the old one, so your tailgate lines up properly. You don't want it way back here or way down here, you know. Try to get it as centered as possible and tighten it back up. And there we go. Make sure you snug it up relatively tight when you slam the tailgate. You know, all the pressure is going to hit that, so don't want it sliding on you. Now would actually be a good time to replace these stops too if they're worn out. They just push or pull off and push on. I think mine are okay though. So we're gonna let those ride. Gonna put that tail light back together. Just gotta line up these 2 plastic pins with these holes, push in, and then line our 2 Phillips screws back in and tighten them up. Just snug, don't go too tight. They just thread into these chintzy little clips. So I'm gonna put the taillight in, and we'll do the same on this side. All right, there we are, both strikers on, both taillights put back in. Now, this should apply for, you know, 99 all the way up to the 07 Classic body style for Chevy and GMC. Pretty much these are gonna be the same steps for almost any pickup, actually. Might be slight differences, but same principle. Stupid stuff like this, just normal maintenance on stuff like this is, you know, people are always wanting to modify their vehicles, this, that, and the other thing, but you got to stop for a second and actually go back to the basics every once in a while. These Chevys and GMs, they're known for tailgate issues, and I have a feeling stuff like this, and then as well as the linkages rusting up and seizing, and obviously the handle breaking, are all issues that you can remedy pretty easily and pretty cheap. So, end of rant. Back to the hinges that are toast. This side is supposed to be a full circle. This side has a little cut opening on the tailgate portion. So what you're supposed to do is pick up the tailgate about this level and then lift this side off, and then you can pull it this direction off of that hinge. Probably won't have to do that. it's probably just going to fall right off. But your first step, you might want a second person to help you with this if you can't lift the tailgate by yourself. But you just lift it up a little bit, and you'll pull these. If you have to, you can use like a flathead to help you get this. But just pull that out, little tab, slide it up, and if you're like me, you got a little rust ridge built up, but you just pull it right out. So you do that on both sides, and then you can pull the tailgate off, and we'll replace the hinges. So I'm gonna pull the tailgate off right now. Ta-da! All right. The bolts holding the hinges on are a 13mm head. I'm gonna use my cordless impact. You can use a ratchet with a socket, or even a wrench if you don't have anything else. So we're gonna go ahead and remove the hinges on both sides. As you can see, they're pretty rusty. Got all the bolts out and they're still attached. So I'm gonna get a flathead screwdriver, just grab the upper lip of that thing and tap it with a hammer to get these things off. All right, like I said, a little persuasion with the flathead and the hammer. It actually had a little guide pin in there. Get all this junk out of the way. Now, this is going to be the same concept as the striker. You want to line up the hinge with the previous mark. Paint markings. So that everything lines up right. Again, Dorman kit. There's the part number. 4-piece kit. I believe they're marked left and right, but we'll take this out and see. As I suspected, we've got an L on the left one and an R on the right one. I'm gonna guess that L as left means driver's side. So we're gonna bolt those up, making sure to put them how they were, or how the old ones were, I should say. Don't need to go, too tight. Don't want to break them. They have a little Loctite on them, so you shouldn't have to go balls to the walls on them. All right, now you'll note that the hinge with the opening is on the passenger side, so remember that. I'm gonna go ahead and lay the tailgate down. My truck's kind of beat up and there's some snow, so I'm just gonna go ahead and flop it down. If you have a newer truck that's nicer, don't want to scratch the tailgate, I would lay down some cardboard or a blanket so it doesn't scratch the paint when you set it down. Or put it up on your tonneau cover if you got one. Same thing, 13mm. Oh, I'll get back here. Alright, remember I said the open one goes on the passenger side. These lined up pretty well, but just like I said, try to line them up your best as where the old marks were. Tighten them down. Again, 13mm. Don't need to go too tight. They have some Loctite on them. All right, there we are. All the hinges are on. Now we're gonna go for the cables. And once you know how convenient, 13mm. Little washer on there. Don't lose that. Okay, now these should be ambidextrous, which means they can go on either side, but it never hurts to try and match up the old parts to make sure they're the right size first, and they look to be right. So, back on we go, and here is, well, here, I guess we can just check the part number. There we go. Yeah, same part number. So, I'm gonna bolt those up now. Remember, the closed eyelet end bolts to the tailgate, not this part. And make sure that when you bolt the cable on, keep in mind that it has to hook like this. So that means that it has to bolt on the tailgate this way, not that way. And then opposite for the other side. Don't bolt them on backwards or you're gonna have issues. Also make sure you're watching the bolt when you tighten it. As you can see, the shoulder is getting caught there. It should go like that. Okay, now it can move freely because the bolt has a little shank on it right here that keeps it from pinching the cable. So now we're going to go ahead and figure out which way this cable needs to bolt on and put the second one on. All right, we're all done putting the parts on. Everything moves freely like it should. Everything's bolted on correctly. Now we just gotta get the tailgate on. Like I said, you might need a hand. So the driver's side is the close end. You'll want to finagle that onto this stud first, then roll the tailgate up and slide the open part of the passenger side hinge onto this one. And obviously hook up the cables, which I'll show you how to do that. Driver's side is in. And my quarter fender's a little messed up because the truck got rear-ended previously, so mine won't go in as easy as yours will, but we'll get her here. There we go. And put it in the big spot, push in, pull. Boom. All right, look at that. All is good. Let's see how it shuts. Oh, way better. Way, way better. No cables hanging out. Latch the first time. Nice and tight strikers. Doesn't anymore. Perfect. Little TLC, it's all she needed. Hope this video helped you out. Like and subscribe for more.